Get this. They think that he was a man living in Tuolumne County the whole time who died just 3 years ago. Reporter Renee Santos on who they now believe was responsible for the Zodiac killings.
Yeah, this group also connects the Zodiac killer to a 55-year-old murder out of Riverside, California. And we just got off the phone with Riverside police who tell us there isn't a connection. The Case Breakers, a group whose website claims to be made up of retired law enforcement and military members, claims to have cracked the code in letters the Zodiac killer wrote, identifying the killer as Gary Francis Post, who lived and worked as a painter in Groveland but died in 2018. The group alleges the man is responsible for the murder of Sherry Jo Bates. In 1967, Riverside police received a handwritten letter that led investigators to believe the murder was connected to the Zodiac. But in 2016, investigators received an anonymous letter from a person admitting what was written was a sick joke. Today, Riverside police are still investigating Bates' murder, but are not connecting it to the Zodiac killer. Meantime, police in Vallejo sent CBS 13 this statement regarding their Zodiac killer case, the 1967 murders of Michael McGow and Darlene Ferrin, telling us the case remains under investigation. They add they are unable to confirm or deny the validity of the reports. Jim Jacks has spent his career on the Zodiac task force, working to identify the infamous killer.
There has not been a lot of new information developed over the last several years that I'm aware of.
And we made over a dozen calls to the family of the man this group has identified as that killer, but no one answered our calls. Reporting in Sacramento, Renee Santos, KPIX 5.
And over the years, many people have come forward claiming to know who the Zodiac killer was. Most notably, in 2007, a man pointed fingers at his stepfather, Jack Torrance, who the FBI actually tried at one point to DNA match with evidence left by the killer. Then there was a woman in 2008 who claimed her father, Guyward Hendrickson, was the actual Zodiac killer and said that she was with him for 2 of the murders. And then in 2014, a man published a book where he claims his search for his biological father, Earl Van Best Jr., led him to believe that Best was the Zodiac. Well, this latest theory comes less than a year after one of the Zodiac's mysterious ciphers was solved. Last December, a team of amateur code breakers was able to crash the so-called 340 cipher, the code which was mailed to the San Francisco Chronicle back in 1969. It was finally revealed. It said, quote, "I hope you're having lots of fun in trying to catch me." So we reached out to the San Francisco police detectives about today's news, and we were told the department cannot comment because, as far as they're
and a Christmas concert at their high school, Hogan High, not far from Betty's home. However, their plans changed, instead visiting a friend before stopping at a nearby restaurant for a meal. Afterwards, the couple proceeded to Lake Herman Road, where David parked at around 10:15 p.m. This area was known for being the local makeout spot for couples. Just 45 minutes later, their dead bodies would be discovered by a neighbor, Stella Borges, and the police were called. It's believed that not long before their bodies were discovered, another car pulled up and parked beside them. The killer would have exited their vehicle and possibly ordered the couple to do the same. Forensic analysis theorized that Betty left the car first, but when David was only halfway out, he was shot in the head. The murderer proceeded to then shoot Betty 5 times in the back as she tried to escape before driving off. Her body was found 28 feet away from her boyfriend's car. There was no evidence to give the police any leads whatsoever. 8 months later, on July the 4th, 1969, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau drove into the Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, California, just 4 miles from the location of the last murder, and parked up. Oddly, as they sat in their car, another vehicle pulled up and parked beside them, but then almost immediately it drove away again. Around 10 minutes passed before the exact same car returned and parked behind them instead. The driver then got out of the vehicle and approached the passenger side of theirs.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, Stan, tell Mr. Howe the draft work piece was damn near perfect. Mr. Graysmith. Horrid. Horrid. Not so horrid. Horrid. I'm thinking we go with not so horrid. Paul, what's on the crime beat?
Janice in Datebook left the fondue party before everyone got naked. That's a crime. Just seen her. Wouldn't kid you.
Maybe the beginning of a crime wave.
You need to see this.
Go get the publisher.
Dear editor, this is the murderer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman and the girl on the 4th of July near the golf course in Vallejo. To prove I killed them, I shall state some facts which only I and the police know. Christmas, brand name of ammo, Super X. 10 shots were fired. The boy was on his back with his feet to the car. The girl...
The girl was on her right side, feet to the west. 4th of July. 1. Girl was wearing patterned slacks. The boy was also shot in the knee. Brand name of ammo was Western. Here is part of a cipher. The other 2 parts of this cipher are being mailed to the editors of the Vallejo Times and SF Examiner. I want you to print this cipher on the front page of your paper. In this cipher is my identity. If you do not print this cipher by the afternoon of FRY, 1st of August 69, I will go on a kill rampage Fry night. I will cruise around all weekend killing lone people in the night, then move on to kill again until I end up with 12 people over the weekend. It's unsigned except for a symbol.
Is it me? Or does that look like a gun sight?
Today's August 1st. He wants his code in the afternoon edition.
If the Examiner doesn't have the balls to run it, we scoop the bait.
Al, this man is talking about shooting 12 people.
And not running this might make him do that.
If we run it, we might be setting a very dangerous precedent.
Oh, come on now. It's newsworthy.
We're giving some sick bastard a soapbox. What does that say to people?
Back up. Is this Vallejo story true? Do we know that?
Paul?
What? I cover crime in Vallejo? Yeah, I cover crime in Vallejo. 10 minutes.
Let's shoot the code and call SFPD. If it turns out to be real, at least we'll have the material.
All right.
Graysmith, don't you have a cartoon to finish?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Paul Avery from the San Francisco Chronicle. I'm looking for someone to shed some light on a letter we received. Thank you.
Sergeant Mullenix.
Sergeant Paul Avery from the San Francisco Chronicle. I just want to check if you had an unsolved firearm-related homicide on Christmas and maybe one on July 4th.
Shit. You guys got one too?
Confirmed. VPD, they confirmed the shootings.
Al's on the phone with the Examiner. They got the same letter with a different code.
Also the Times Herald. Christmas, 2 teenagers on Lover's Lane, both the OA. David Faraday and Betty Jensen. July 4th, Darlene Farron and Michael I think it's Mayhew. Anyway, he lived, she didn't.
The murder weapons?
Ballistics, everything he said in the letters match. I mean, I think the Times Herald's gonna go with it.
The Examiner's going, but won't go front page. I say let's go front page. If he kills 12 people, it's not our fault.
Robert, we need the car too. You're not finished?
No, I'm finished, Carol. I'm finished. Terrio's still here.
Really?
The first edition is off the floor in 10, Charles.
Give us a sec.
Okay, replate. We'll go on page 4.